You're doing your best. You choose the blueberries. You skip the sugary cereal. You try to eat what's good for you, because you want to feel better, stay sharp, stay independent. And you've been told blueberries are a superfood. But what if I told you that when paired with certain other foods, even healthy ones, those blueberries might be doing more harm than good? Not because blueberries are bad, but because your body changes with age, and what worked at 40 might not be working the same way now. Maybe you've felt it. The bloating, the dizziness after breakfast, the weird way your stomach flips even when you thought you ate clean. And maybe, just maybe, you've blamed yourself. You don't need to. And you're not imagining things. Doctors are finally confirming what so many seniors have felt all along. Food affects us differently after 60. Even something as innocent as a bowl of fruit can turn tricky when it's mixed with the wrong partner. But here's the good news. In this video, we're going to walk through 5 foods you should never combine with blueberries, and what to enjoy instead. No fear. No guilt. Just clarity. Because when you understand how your body works now, you can stop guessing, and start feeling better. More energy. Less discomfort. And the confidence that you're doing what's right for you. So take a deep breath. You're in the right place. Let's talk about it. Together. Because you deserve to know how your food is really affecting you, especially when you're doing your best to eat well. And no, this isn't about strict diets or trendy food rules. It's about understanding how a few innocent combinations, like blueberries with the wrong partner, can quietly work against your health. Let me tell you about Mrs. Liz. She's 72, and like many of us, she made a choice to eat better. Every morning, she'd fix herself a bowl of warm oatmeal with a handful of fresh blueberries. She thought she was doing everything right. Fiber from the oats. Antioxidants from the berries. A splash of milk for calcium. But within a few weeks, she noticed something odd. A tightness in her stomach. Lightheadedness that lingered into the afternoon. And a strange feeling of heaviness, like her food was just sitting there, not helping her, but dragging her down. Now, she brushed it off at first. Maybe it was just part of getting older. But it wasn't. And it didn't have to be. It turns out, the blueberries weren't the problem. It was what she was eating with them. See, as we age, our digestive system slows down. The stomach lining becomes a little thinner. We don't produce as many enzymes to break food down quickly. And that means certain food combinations, even healthy ones, can suddenly clash in ways they didn't before. Take blueberries and dairy, for example. On their own, blueberries are a powerhouse. Packed with antioxidants that help your cells fight inflammation, protect your heart, and even support your brain. But when you mix them with milk, something very common in cereal or oatmeal, those antioxidants can bind to the milk proteins. And when that happens, your body can't absorb them as easily. It's like trying to unlock a door, but the key is stuck in glue. The nutrients are there, but they're locked away. So the health boost you were hoping for? It never really reaches your cells. Instead, your body ends up doing a lot of work for very little reward, which can leave you feeling tired, bloated, or frustrated. But here's the good part. You don't have to give up blueberries. And you don't have to give up oatmeal either. All you need is a simple shift. Instead of adding milk or yogurt to your blueberries, try almond milk or oat milk, plant-based options that don't interfere with absorption the same way. Or keep your blueberries and dairy, but space them out by an hour or 2. Give your body a chance to digest each food properly, without confusion. It's a small change, but it can make a big difference. Less stomach discomfort. Better nutrient absorption. More energy that lasts through the day. Imagine that for a moment. Waking up, enjoying a simple breakfast, and feeling lighter, more clear-headed, with no mid-morning slump or strange belly twist. That's what smart food timing can give you. And this is just the first of 5 combinations to look out for. Because blueberries, as good as they are, don't always play nice with other foods. So, let's go deeper. Let's look at the 5 common foods you should never eat with blueberries, and the better choices you can make instead. But before we move on, if this has been helpful so far, please consider subscribing to Senior Healing. We share practical, comforting ways every week to help you or a loved one live healthier, longer, and with more ease. You're not alone, and we'd love to walk this journey with you. Now, let's take a closer look at the first surprising food combination that could be silently working against your blueberries, and how you can fix it with ease. 1. Avoid blueberries with citrus fruits. Now, let's look at the next pairing that might surprise you. It's one we don't often think twice about, because both parts seem healthy on their own. A small bowl of blueberries with a side of orange slices. Or a smoothie made with grapefruit and a handful of berries. You may have even added lemon juice to your blueberry water thinking, well, this must be extra good for me. And that's an easy mistake to make, because you're doing your best. You're choosing fruit. You're showing up for your health. But here's what's really happening behind the scenes. Blueberries, as you may know, are full of powerful compounds called polyphenol. They're natural chemicals that help reduce inflammation, support your heart, and protect your brain cells, like tiny bodyguards for your insides. But when you mix those polyphenol with high-acid fruits, like oranges, grapefruits, lemons, the acidity can break those bodyguards down before they ever get to work. It's like preparing a team of nurses to go help your body, and then sending them into a storm before they've even left the house. The result? You think you're getting those antioxidant benefits, but your body may only absorb a fraction of what's actually there. And for seniors especially, that matters more than ever. Your body's ability to absorb nutrients has likely changed over the years. What helped your heart or joints in your 30s might not be reaching your bloodstream the same way now. So when you do eat something healthy, you want to make sure it counts. Now, I'm not saying you can't enjoy citrus anymore. Not at all. In fact, oranges and grapefruits have their own benefits, like boosting vitamin C and aiding hydration. But when it comes to pairing them with blueberries, it's all about timing. Here's a simple tip you can try today. Enjoy blueberries and citrus separately. You might have your blueberries in the morning, sprinkled over oatmeal or eaten plain with a spoon. Then, later in the day, maybe mid-afternoon or with lunch, enjoy that juicy orange or a squeeze of lemon in your water. By spacing them out, you give each fruit a chance to shine. You allow your body to take in the full benefits, without the internal tug of war. And that's really what this is all about, not giving up the things you love, but learning how to let them work for you again. Because imagine this. You have your breakfast, go about your day, and feel lighter, more energized. Your stomach feels calm. Your brain feels clear. That's not magic. That's just a better food rhythm. And once you know it, you can use it every single day. You've already come this far, and that says a lot about you. You care about how you feel. You want to do better. Not for perfection, but for peace, and that's a beautiful thing. If this has been helpful so far, please consider subscribing to Senior Healing. We share practical ways every week to help you or someone you love live healthier, longer, and more comfortably. We believe healing doesn't stop with age. It starts with understanding. Now, let's look at the next food on our list, one that might be hiding in your medicine cabinet as well as your plate. Because if you take blood thinners, this next part is especially important. Shall we? 2. Blueberries plus blood thinners? A cautionary pair. Your medication. Specifically, if you, or someone you care for, takes a blood thinner like warfarin, Coumadin, or even some natural alternatives, there's something important you should know about blueberries. They're naturally rich in something called vitamin K, and while that might sound like a good thing, it can quietly interfere with how your medication works. Let me explain, simply. Vitamin K is the nutrient that tells your blood how to clot. It's like the signal that helps stop bleeding when you get a cut. Now, that's helpful, unless you're on a medication that's meant to keep your blood from clotting too much. That's exactly what blood thinners do. They slow down your blood's natural clotting process to prevent strokes, heart attacks, or dangerous clots. But when you suddenly eat a lot of vitamin K, or change how much you're getting day to day, it can send mixed signals to your medication. And your body ends up confused. One day, it might thin your blood too much. The next day, not enough. You may not notice it right away. But inside, that seesaw effect can lead to bruising, bleeding gums, or worse, hidden risks that could have been avoided with just a little balance. Now, don't worry. This doesn't mean you need to cut blueberries out of your life completely. Not at all. You just need to be consistent. Think of your medication like a recipe. Too much of one ingredient, or adding a new one suddenly, can throw the whole thing off. So, if you love blueberries, keep them in your routine. Just eat about the same amount regularly. Don't double up one day and skip the next. And always talk to your doctor before making any big changes to your diet, especially if you're on a medication that regulates your blood. You can even bring it up at your next checkup. Hey doc, I've been eating a handful of blueberries every morning. Is that okay with my blood thinner? It's a small question, but it could protect you in a big way. And it's worth it. Because when your medication and your meals work together, not against each other, you feel more in control. More steady. Less worried. Imagine going about your day without wondering if your breakfast accidentally undid your prescription. Imagine knowing that what you're eating is working with your healing, not secretly making it harder. That kind of peace. It's not just possible. It's powerful. And remember, you're not expected to figure all this out on your own. If this has been helpful so far, please consider subscribing to Senior Healing. Every week, we share gentle, practical ways to feel better and live longer without the confusion. Because your body deserves care that makes sense for you. And we're here to guide you through it. Now, let's move to the next one on our list. It's something most of us grew up with. Comforting, creamy, familiar. But when combined with blueberries, it might be blocking more than you think. Let's talk about dairy. 3. Don't mix with dairy, the silent nutrient blocker. Blueberries and dairy. It's one of the most common pairings out there. You've probably had it yourself. Blueberries stirred into a cup of yogurt, poured over cereal with milk, or baked into a creamy dessert. It's familiar. Comforting. Maybe it reminds you of Sunday mornings or quick breakfasts on busy days. And it feels healthy, doesn't it? But here's something you probably haven't been told. Even though blueberries are rich in antioxidants, those helpful little molecules that protect your cells and reduce inflammation, mixing them with dairy might be stopping those antioxidants from doing their job. Here's why, in plain terms. Dairy contains proteins, mainly casein, and when that protein meets the polyphenol in blueberries, they tend to bind together. Now picture this. You've got this powerful team of nutrients from the blueberries, ready to rush into your bloodstream, fight off damage, and support your brain and heart. But as soon as they enter your stomach, the dairy acts like glue, sticking to the antioxidants and making them harder to absorb. It's like putting a superhero in a seatbelt and expecting them to leap into action. They want to help, but they're stuck. So while you think you're getting the full benefit of those blueberries, your body might only absorb a small part of what's really there. And that's not your fault. No one taught you this growing up. It's not on the label. It's just one of those tiny, invisible details that starts to matter more as we get older. But here's the hopeful part. You don't have to give up your favorite foods. You just need to give them space to work better. If you love your blueberries in the morning, try them with a bowl of oats, or sprinkle them over a smoothie made with almond or oat milk instead of cow's milk. Or, if you still enjoy dairy, and many do, have it later in the day. Maybe a glass of milk with lunch, or some yogurt in the evening. Just a little space between the two makes all the difference. That way, you're still getting the calcium and the protein from dairy and the antioxidants from blueberries, but they're not stepping on each other's toes. It's a simple change. But the payoff, more of what your body needs actually gets in. And that can mean real changes you'll feel. Less inflammation. Better energy throughout the day. A calmer stomach. Even better brain clarity, because your cells are finally getting what they've been asking for. Now imagine this. You start the morning with a beautiful bowl of oats, warm and filling, topped with a handful of blueberries and a sprinkle of cinnamon. No tummy upset. No sluggishness. Just calm, gentle energy that carries you into the afternoon. That's what smarter food pairing can do. It doesn't take more effort, just better timing. And you're already halfway there. If this has been helpful so far, please consider subscribing to Senior Healing. Every week, we offer simple, comforting tips to help you, or someone you love, live healthier, longer, and with more confidence. Because you don't need to do this alone. Now, there's one more pairing we need to talk about, and it's one that hides in plain sight. You might be sipping it right now. Let's talk about what happens when you drink tea or coffee too soon after eating blueberries. 4. Why you shouldn't pair blueberries with high-iron veggies. Blueberries and iron-rich vegetables. That means things like spinach, kale, Swiss chard, all those leafy greens we've been told to eat more of. And you're probably doing just that. Maybe you've started adding berries to your morning smoothie, or tossing them into a spinach salad for lunch. It feels like the right thing to do, because it's fruit and vegetables, right? But here's the gentle truth. Sometimes, even two healthy choices can cancel each other out, especially when they're eaten together. Let me explain, simply. When you eat plant-based sources of iron, like spinach or kale, your body has to work a bit harder to absorb it. This kind of iron is called non-heme iron, and unlike the iron in meat, it needs just the right environment to get into your bloodstream. Now here's where blueberries come in. They're full of polyphenol, wonderful little compounds that do amazing things for your heart, your brain, and your aging cells. But in the case of iron, they tend to get a little clingy. They bind to the iron in those leafy greens, like two puzzle pieces locking together, and that makes it harder for your body to absorb the iron at all. It's like setting the table for a beautiful meal, and then locking the door so your guests can't come in. So what does this mean for you? It means that if you're low on iron, or if your doctors told you to watch your levels, or if you've been feeling extra tired, dizzy, or cold lately, this simple habit, blueberries with leafy greens, could be part of the reason you're not getting the boost you need. But don't worry. The fix is simple. You don't need to stop eating blueberries, or spinach, or kale. You just need to give them a little breathing room. Here's a gentle tip. If you're going to have a spinach omelet for breakfast, save your blueberries for a mid-morning snack. If you're having a salad at lunch with kale or arugula, wait a couple of hours before enjoying your blueberries as a sweet treat. 2 hours, that's all it takes to help your body process each nutrient the right way. And your body will notice. More steady energy. Fewer dizzy spells or that drained feeling in the afternoon. Maybe even better sleep, because your iron levels help carry oxygen through your blood, and when that's flowing well, everything else starts to feel easier too. And remember, your nutrition doesn't have to be perfect. You don't need to track every bite or follow a complicated plan. You just need to be a little more mindful, a little more tuned in. And that awareness over time gives your body exactly what it's been asking for. Because you deserve to feel strong, clear, like you're doing something for your body, not fighting against it. If this has been helpful so far, please consider subscribing to Senior Healing. We're here every week with simple, caring tips to help you or your loved one live with more strength, more comfort, and more confidence. 5. Never mix with coffee or tea immediately after. That morning cup of coffee. Or a warm, soothing mug of tea. For many, it's more than a drink, it's a daily ritual. A quiet moment to sit, breathe, and settle into the day. Maybe you've just had your breakfast, a bowl of oatmeal with blueberries, or some toast with fruit on the side, and the next step is automatic. You reach for your kettle or pour a fresh cup of coffee. But here's a gentle heads up. That timing could be getting in the way of all the good your breakfast was trying to do. Let me explain, simply. Both coffee and tea contain natural compounds, caffeine, and something called tannins. Tannins are what give your tea that dry, slightly bitter taste. They're not harmful on their own. But when they show up right after you eat blueberries, or other iron-rich or antioxidant-rich foods, they tend to bind to those nutrients, making them harder to absorb. So picture this. You've just eaten a handful of fresh blueberries, those beautiful little powerhouses full of antioxidants and memory-boosting polyphenol. They're working their way through your system, ready to support your heart, your brain, your energy. But then comes the coffee. And with it, the tannins and caffeine. And instead of absorbing those nutrients, your body gets distracted. The compounds latch onto each other, and out they go, often before they've had the chance to help. It's like giving your body a gift, and then accidentally tossing it out with the wrapping paper. Now, I know, for many of us, that morning cup is non-negotiable. And that's okay. You don't have to give it up. You just need to give your body a little space to receive the good stuff first. Here's a gentle, doable tip. Wait about 30 to 60 minutes after eating your blueberries before you enjoy that coffee or tea. That small pause gives your body time to start absorbing the antioxidants and iron, before anything gets in the way. You'll still get your warm drink, and your nutrients will have a head start. And the benefits? Over time, that tiny shift can mean better energy, sharper memory, a steadier mood throughout the day, and less of that mid-morning crash we often blame on just getting older. But it's not just age. It's timing. And now you know how to work with your body, not against it. If you're still watching and this has been helpful, please consider subscribing to Senior Healing. We're here every week with honest, gentle health tips to help you, or someone you love, feel stronger, clearer, and more in control of your well-being. So, what can you pair blueberries with? So now that we've talked about what not to pair with blueberries, let's focus on something even more important. What can you enjoy them with, safely, simply, and deliciously? Because here's the good news. You don't have to stop eating blueberries. Not at all. In fact, with the right pairings, you'll help your body absorb even more of their goodness, and feel better doing it. Let's start with something warm and comforting. Oats. Plain, old-fashioned oats, made with water or a splash of almond milk, create a perfect foundation for blueberries. No nutrient clashes, no blocked absorption. Just smooth digestion and steady energy. Top your oats with a handful of blueberries and maybe a sprinkle of cinnamon, and your body will thank you all morning long. Next, nuts. Almonds, walnuts, even pecans, all pair beautifully with blueberries. They bring in healthy fats and plant protein, which helps slow digestion gently, keeping you full longer without spiking your blood sugar. Think of it like a natural team effort. The berries bring the antioxidants, the nuts bring the fuel, and your body gets to work with both. Another great partner? Whole grain toast. Whether it's rye, whole wheat, or gluten-free, a slice of hearty toast with some almond butter and blueberries on top makes a lovely, balanced breakfast or snack. Simple, nourishing, and easy on your digestion. And here's one you might not expect, but it's surprisingly powerful. A glass of water with lemon. Yes, just water, no sugar, no grapefruit. Just a little warm or cool water with a slice of fresh lemon. It keeps you hydrated, supports digestion, and won't interfere with the nutrients in your blueberries. In fact, it may help your body absorb them more efficiently, especially if you drink it first thing in the morning, before you eat. And if fresh berries feel too expensive or hard to find where you live, don't worry. Frozen blueberries are just as nutritious. They're picked at their peak and flash frozen, so all the antioxidants, fiber, and nutrients stay locked in. Plus, you can scoop out just what you need, and keep the rest for later. Affordable, convenient, and no waste. So here's the gentle takeaway. You don't need a fancy meal plan or a complicated routine. Just small shifts, better pairings, better timing, that make it easier for your body to get the real benefits from what you eat. And when that happens, you feel it. More steady energy. A clearer head. Less bloating, fewer dips in the day. Maybe even more restful sleep at night, because your body isn't spending extra time trying to sort things out. Imagine waking up tomorrow knowing that your breakfast is actually supporting you, not working against you. That's what these little changes can do. And if this has been helpful so far, I gently invite you to subscribe to Senior Healing. Every week, we're here to guide you, or someone you care for, with simple, trustworthy ways to feel better, live longer, and stay more independent. Now, let's wrap this up with a few final thoughts, because it's not about giving up the foods you love. It's about loving your body enough to give it the right tools to thrive. You've made it this far, and that says a lot about you. It means you care. Not just about eating right, but about feeling better, living stronger. Maybe for yourself, maybe for someone you love. And that matters, because when you show up for your health, even with small steps like this, you're doing something powerful. You're saying, my body is still worth caring for. My life is still worth living fully. Now, maybe when you started this video, you were a little unsure. You'd heard blueberries were healthy, but now they might be harmful? It's confusing, and that's okay. But look how far you've come in just a few minutes. Now you understand how certain food combinations, even healthy ones, can work against your body instead of with it. And even better, you now have the clarity and the confidence to enjoy blueberries again, safely, wisely, and without worry. Let's quickly recap the key takeaways, so they stay with you long after this video ends. Avoid pairing blueberries with citrus fruits like oranges or grapefruit, dairy products like milk or yogurt, iron-rich veggies like spinach and kale, coffee or tea right after eating. And if you're on blood thinners, always check with your doctor first. Instead, try these easy, nourishing pairings. Oats cooked in water or non-dairy milk. A small handful of nuts. Whole grain toast. Water with lemon, but not grapefruit. And remember, small changes really do make a big difference. Not overnight, but day by day. Bite by bite. Thought by thoughtful thought. Because your body hasn't given up on you. It's still working hard, every single day. And all it needs is the right support. You don't have to figure it all out at once. And you don't have to do it alone. That's why we're here, every week, at Senior Healing, to walk with you, step by step, with guidance made just for seniors and caregivers like you. If this video helped, would you give it a gentle thumbs up? And if you haven't yet, we'd love to have you subscribe. Not for the numbers, but because it means you'll keep getting the kind of care-first content that's made for your stage of life. And if you know someone, a friend, a neighbor, maybe a parent, who loves blueberries, share this video with them. It might just be the small shift that changes how they feel this week. Now before you go, here's something to look forward to. In our next episode, we'll explore a simple morning habit that may help protect your brain from memory loss. It's easy. It's backed by science. And it just might become your new favorite part of the day. Because here at Senior Healing, we believe healing doesn't stop with age. It begins, right now, with care, with clarity, and with you. One small step at a time. We'll see you next week. And until then, take care of yourself. You're worth it.